Okay, test. All good?
Oh yeah, can you hear? I will try not to move this.
Okay, all good. Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to our second episode for this season's Rinkside. So, last weekend we stopped. Sorry, not last weekend. Last week's session was mostly about the league itself, where the men's were involved, and then we talked the follow-up of whatever happened for the past few months. This week is quite straightforward, especially our boys returning from their national duties at WFCQ. I think we should start with a shout out to the three countries that qualify. Our friends from Philippines winning the AOFC. Then our Thailand, our friends from Thailand, they got second, and of course Australia securing the third position where they went against our boys in a very close knitted fight. I mean, you wanna generally talk about the scores itself, or you know?
We can just cover through. So those that have been catching up with the scores, I'm just gonna talk about the scores that Singapore.
We just about
the results that Singapore's got. So their first three good match. First match was against Japan. Close encounter because it ended up at 5-5. So subsequently, when they faced Australia, they actually lost by 3-8. So there was quite a gap. So there are probably some worrying signs when that happened. But because of that, they subsequently in their third game they had to catch up in terms of goal difference. So they indeed did it, and they scored 19-0 against China. And with that, they basically progressed through to the semis. Yeah. So in the semis, unfortunately, facing Thais, and they lost 1-10 against the Thais. Therefore, in the third, fourth placing, which Abbas did mention is now a much closer match against the Australians, and they lost by 3-4. With that, we were the fourth place in AOFC, and we did mention last time around that top three will qualify for the WFC. Yeah, so therefore Singapore this time is out with the fact that Philippines, Thailand, and Australia will progress through.
Yep. And yeah, it's I won't say it's a coincidence or what, but it's the last time that this happened to us. For the men's to qualify for or not qualify for the World Cup was exactly 10 years ago, right?
2014.
2014, exactly. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know if it's a coincidence or it's just like, wow.
Like economics.
Recession. I've been using that term for the longest of time. Really. 10 years ago, I believe we didn't qualify for the WFC. And now this year we didn't qualify. But it is what it is. We can talk more soon. We just need to address a few things about from our boys, who were there.
General observations that were contributed by Lianzhou. So a lot of the info that was given by him. But yeah, go ahead.
Yep. So if those of you who follow or keep track of the match itself, you can see that most of the goals came from one line, line one specifically, and on the second line, the goals, I would say the contribution, goals scored mostly was from Fatah as well, and of course the third line, the least number of goals scored by them. Again, floorball is not only about goals, but goals win you games. But again, these are just data that we're just stating itself. But the dominance of line one and then line two and line three are trying to catch up, and it's quite similar in our local scene as well. Like we always rely on line one to be very good, which something I personally don't like. I'm against this line one, line two, that kind of thing. But again, this is just by goals. We don't know how much they contributed overall in the game itself. Sometimes we don't know which line is a containing line.
I mean, we are not as sophisticated as NBA or Premier League, where you get all the sophisticated.
We have like some screen and data.
Sometimes when I watch some of the videos done by some YouTubers, right, it's just out of this world. Yeah.
Especially the NBAs, but oh my goodness, the Americans love stats and data.
Yeah. Although they did came out a debate whether is stats actually the right way to go about recruiting and selecting the best players around. Yep. But anyway, so apparently what we got the info, like the total 30 goals that Singapore scored, 18 goals actually came from line 1, 7 goals came from line 2, and then subsequently 5 goals only from line 3. So I think if you want to get people to be more reactive towards this channel, right, you can also comment down below. Is your own circumstances also similar? Because both of us are coaches as well. When he just now mentioned, right, most of the time we do encounter teams or coaches that does a very strong line 1 and then subsequently say a weaker line 2 and then say the weakest line 3. So
yeah, and we can see in the league itself, Premier League some. Yeah, we don't need to look.
I mean, it happens in schools also lah.
In schools is more common.
Correct.
It's
So
like any other teams.
yeah, I mean, I shall not go too much deeper into it, but you can do comment whether is that valid, is that justified, I guess, in terms of results or developing players in general.
Yep. And just to follow up with the ranking itself, New Zealand got China was it's a debut, first time ever, right? They never played in any UFC before, not to my knowledge.
UFC actually once they did came to Singapore. I remember somehow China. Or was it the World Uni? No, the
might be a World Uni
Games.
game. Might be the World Uni Games.
But I didn't remember China actually came to Singapore.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they were at the bottom, and then followed by New Zealand, right? New Zealand got the second bottom, which I don't think it's deserving. I think they were a solid team throughout the competition. Just unfortunate. It's a competition. It is what it is. Followed by we have Japan, crucially extra time game winning goal where we saw the Koreans I think fatigue or just lapse in defense and the guy was just open goal tap in. Now, that's an amazing game. Then of course we talk about the finals where Philippines came back. They lost to Thailand in the group stages.
Yeah.
And winning at the home ground. I think that's amazing. We want to say home ground advantage, yeah, sure, but it's always nice to win in front of your home crowd.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and of course we have to talk about the quality itself, overall quality. After watching last year's World Cup in Singapore, the Women's World Cup, and we had some comments from our European counterparts who gave their feedback about Asian scene or the Asian teams. That's for the women's side. What do you think about our AFC as compared to the European counterparts?
In terms of style?
Style or quality, or
I mean, if you do know the scene in general, the top 2 teams that's in the AFC, alright, they do have, how to put it in a nice way, they do have players that they are playing playing in the Swedish league.
Yep.
Right, so in fact I just saw Philippines, Melvin. He actually just got drafted into Classic. If I'm not wrong, okay.
Wow.
So he was actually but that itself is a fresh or new thing for me because the keyword is being drafted into Classic. But over here we just switch over.
Yeah. After season finish, let's go.
Yeah, back to what we mentioned last week, if there's a certain structure in terms of transfers or if money is, I do not know if money is being involved over in the European side. But yes, what I'm trying to say is that there are players that are playing in the top tier leagues in Sweden, and therefore when they came and represent Singapore, represent their own country, definitely the quality is there.
But that's the big issue, isn't it? Like,
we can dig deeper.
It's
whether you want to see it in Singapore's context or whether you want to see it in Philippines or Thailand's context.
I mean, we don't need to look at the Philippines and the Thais. So the problem is we were the first movers. Philip Stefan and the whole gang of.
The Swedes came over.
Yeah, came over to establish. We were decent for quite a while, but then Team Sports Singapore's eventual result is that we.
Yeah, depending on how you want to define the word decent. Right, yeah. So by when you said first mover advantage, yes, we had the first mover advantage in terms of starting the sport locally.
Region,
yeah, but if you want to say you want to move on to the next step or you want to say now catch up, right, then what is the plan, or if SFA or wants to have a plan towards say catching up, and if catching up, does it mean that we send our boys over? Is that even feasible money-wise? I'm not too sure. Or
the thing is, we had this before. We've done this so many times, even in other sports.
Even
recently, we had City going over to Czech Republic to play for, I think, season or so, right?
Yeah. But playing for a season, I mean, even Tiffany as well.
Yeah, Tiffany.
Right. So, but playing for, whether is it playing for a season, half a season, or say a couple of months, Even last time Shasni also went to the Swiss side as well. So there are a couple of names, but when you talk about say a short stint versus say they are actually permanently there.
Yep.
Right. So this time I mentioned about Melvin, right? So Melvin from Philippines, he's actually staying there.
Yep.
Right. So then the development, the progress, of course, is a lot different.
It's questionable. I mean, I in other sports we've seen almost some similar structure that the players are staying there, or we even send coaches overseas for like 2-3 years stint of coaching there, and most of them just don't want to come back. Also, when they know they come back, the issue is the scene itself. Yeah. In other sports, we have coaches who decided after like they went to Spain to do some youth coaching stint for a year or 2 or so. They decided to come back and go to our neighboring countries to work more rather than in our scene itself. Maybe money is an issue or not, but the point
money,
is,
it can be the structure, it can be the
point is we've been it's been around the same old thing we've been doing has been going in cycles. Like we had Nike Cup, remember, in football back then, where our kids went overseas to compete, and now we are looking at for floorball wise, we've sent players to play overseas, and now we have our academy sending players overseas playing and coming back. And you know, again, it's a cycle. It's just a cycle. Like I think I've been making quite a big noise about this within ourselves. Like, you know, it's just a whole cycle where we really need to find a structure for ourselves. It's not looking outside and how to solve a problem. But eventually, this will affect the overall Asia ranking. You know, now 3 countries only to the WFC. As I'm not sure back then, were there any 4 countries? Only once, is it? Or
no, last edition was 4. Yeah.
So apparently last edition there was 4, and
now more European countries playing. You know, I think they would naturally, if we cannot reach to that level, of course the organisers, IFF would.
they'll rather let say at least one more place to be given to the European side. Yeah.
Who wouldn't? They want to have more entertaining floorball matches instead of like NSG results. You know, like a domination kind of thing. But yeah, so well, that's something that a very deep thought that.
Okay, but going back to that, right? Because
Can they hear?
I think they can hear. Yeah.
I think they can hear you.
Oh, that's your mic today, huh?
Yeah, that's my mic today.
Oh, power. Okay.
So because if you were talking about sending players there, but failing that, because realistically speaking, if you want to send players there, also a bit hard. So what about we do our own instead of just AOFC? Because AOFC is national level and AOFC is every 2 years also. So what about like Champions League?
Yeah. So
Clubs.
We had that for the basketball. Remember, the ASEAN League, Singapore Slingers and whatnot. See what happened.
But I think it got right. It just
you're not wrong. No, it's a correct idea. It's the correct way to do it. But the problem is,
but do you know that actually last year Mongolia actually wanted to do this so-called club Champions League, so to speak, but in the end it kind of just
died a natural death.
No,
really?
No,
it did not happen. I thought it happened.
It happened. Thailand went there as a national team.
Okay. I think the recruitment of countries to say participate this wasn't as well received. I think 1 possibly the distance, 2 maybe the money, 3 I don't know, logistics or admin and stuff like that.
Unless you're football where you have money, so. No matter what, there will always be a Mitsubishi Cup or there will be a
Suzuki
Cup.
So it was Suzuki Cup.
It was Suzuki, not Mitsubishi Cup. Yeah. So and sold out. You know, people want to watch.
Yeah.
No matter what, even if you're not performing, people want to watch. Yeah.
So I mean, it's like Jeju Open, but if you bring Jeju Open back, then Singapore got SG Open and all that. But those are still how do you call it? Not say.
I know what you're trying to say.
It's still quite open in the sense that people just come and register and then just play.
Yeah, because it's like one. I won't say one company handling it. It's more because floorball itself is still small in Asia.
Yeah.
You don't feel the impact of high professionalism kind of. Even though they can be very professional, the thing is, it doesn't feel like watching a football at the stadium. It's not like that. It's not like, wow, let's go down and watch.
I mean, if you want to bring not just money is being involved, there's also the exposure in terms of media, the eyeballs, people are aware about it, so on and so forth. I mean, if you talk about soccer, everyone knows what's going on. But then in terms of floorball wise, maybe national level they know something about it, but once club level they just kind of like.
And it's a one-off, like you said, like it's one weekend and done. So I mean, floorball is ran that way. Like 2 weeks of competition, or even less than that, 1.5 weeks, and you're done already. Because it's a back-to-back game, not as intense as football, where you need a longer resting period, or like rugby, you know. So maybe it feels very short, I guess, to do an Asian league kind of thing, you know.
Travel just to play.
No, but then we have a good model, volleyball national league.
How?
Volleyball Nations League, where all countries will play.
But they do come together, right? to
Yeah, they will.
location.
If I'm not wrong, there's like different locations for the Nations League. Yeah, so they will
Ah.
play. Yeah, so I'm not sure if it's seasonal or it's just one time they will play. It might be like seasonal, like they play different times because they do have their own professional leagues, you know.
Yeah.
We need to check it out. Yeah, I'll try to look it up because I know there's the Nations League, which is very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, because but then again, if you look around AOFC, right? If you want to say established club structure floorball, other than Singapore, Malaysia, because Malaysia they play by states.
Yeah, they have their states.
Yes.
Their states,
Australia.
and some internal states, so they also have their own
Their
football
own,
clubs.
yeah.
So could it be like we invite them kind of thing, and then maybe instead of like the SG Open once a year kind of thing, then we could be a little bit more frequent, and then maybe even there's a cup kind of thing, like a Champions League. We do Champions League group stages, then cup.
I guess if this wants to happen, then people in SFA will be like, oh no, more work to.
But I would say
I'm just thinking of Alicia's hits.
I would say this: if our house is not yet established, no matter 20 years, 30 years already, it's not established. Why should we try to invite others as well? You know, we are even worse. We are now more like the house is a disaster already. It's like a hoarder's house already. You know, that kind of thing.
That is true.
Yeah. But the idea, like again, the ideas are always good. The problem is, do we have the right people and the right mindset of people to run the show? That's a big question mark. So yeah, not criticizing SFA, not criticizing our mental
Resources is
and
always a
thing.
problem.
Yeah.
Resources.
So Singapore issue is always the people running the show. The best of the people in our countries are always doing at a high performing level, be it whatever industry or in the government. You know, you rarely see them in like sports organization unless it's like Sports SG because this is going beyond. Like, it's very time consuming, very tiring. You know, and you're not going to profit from it. Right? At this moment, you're not going to profit from it. So I think getting the best talent in our association and in our setup, our coaching setup itself, and our grassroots level is very difficult already. It's let alone trying to run a Champions League. I think.
But that's you spoke the magic word profit.
Yeah, the profit lah.
So if we have ticketing, there will be profit. It's that simple. Even if it's the European and all that, right?
$1.
Even if you look at Europe, ice
$1
hockey,
also money.
$1 also money.
Yeah, $1. Yeah, $1.
Yeah.
$1.
And if you compare European hockey leagues and whatnot, right, to them, their proportion of like revenue mostly is also from event day tickets. It's not so much broadcast deals like the US or in football like that. Yeah, to them, they don't even sell enough viewership or rights to cover any production kind of thing. To them, actually, to all sports, ticketing is still the number one revenue, and we got no tickets. It is a waste lah. Yeah.
We should. And if possible, in the long run, if you want to think deeper, right? Parents in schools, be it poly, all the way down to primary schools, would always come down to the games, right? They're willing to pay as well, right? So imagine if you put academy leagues or whatever it is, right? Then you ask the parents to pay $1 just watch. Imagine how many games you can run. You know, $1 is for parents is fine, but for kids, maybe okay lah. I mean, $1 is not bad lah, to be honest, right? Maybe $1 per entry.
I don't know. If I account inflation, I wouldn't charge $1.
We have to start somewhere, like if you want to earn.
Yeah, but the key idea is to start somewhere where if the association can, again, in a good way, right, get some revenue streams. I think that's what Leandro's trying to point out.
That is also one of the things that in Vision 2030 for Sports SG, right? They want sports to be self-sufficient, to earn money away from the government. It's not that they want to cut the fundings, it's that they want to try to increase the market, basically.
I mean, if you think it in a simpler sense, you are a parent and then you have 2-3 kids and then you cannot be just always feeding them. You still need to teach them how to fish themselves.
Yeah, that's true. It will be a nice thing, but Well, this will take time. Very, very long time. Oh, yeah, the short. Oh, that's why it's a very short weekend. That's why maybe I missed it.
Yeah, I didn't realize, Saturday I was like, in the afternoon, I was like, is there any live? Then, 播了，没有了. Sorry, 没有了. I don't have already. So then I realized that it's just a couple of games that day and after subsequently the next day. So,
In other words, it was half day.
I really say half day. Today only half day.
It was half day. It was half day for both Saturday and Sunday. But my goodness, the goals. Even though it was just half a day, the scoreline was huge for the top 3 teams basically. Well, the first game was Excel and Mirahans. Right. 14-0 Excel. Wow. When I popped by for a while, it was 7-0. I was at Leandro. Then what happened? 7-0. Yeah. It was 7-0 already. What was going on?
I mean personally, I'm glad for Excel that they actually get that margin. Given that in the past they were, in fact I sometimes talk to their players when I do see that. I say you guys don't score. And they were like, yeah. So, so I think it's a good thing that they actually managed to score and also at the same time keep a clean sheet, right? So I think it's good for them that we can actually see progress. I mean, given that the previous week they actually played against Crips and their scoreline were actually much more tighter, right? So that's a good sign. I always like or prefer people do step up.
Yeah, and from our observation, I feel Excel is quite back then they won the belts, very stable in terms of they are there. It's very stable. They just need a little push or something to go beyond, because they're a very steady team, very steady, very I would say floorball team. Some teams are just going there just for the sake of let's do this, let's do that, but they're really floorball.
Yeah, given that their background, the fact that they were playing together since young, so that's how they create that base or stability. So, and yes, since young they were actually playing very nice floorball style per se, but again the key was actually to scoring goals, because they kind of just overplay or play too much. The old Arsenal style where you just pass and no one refused to shoot. So yes, good progress.
Yep. Then of course the next game was Titans against Protege.
Protege, come on, Protege. Yeah, but after that, the 16-0 it was 16-0 for Titans against Protege. This sort of games will be like a bit boring for me, because it's
So but the interesting part was I was talking to Leandro and some of the girls that were watching. So I was telling them that because Titans is the best example how Singapore should play floorball in terms of attacking, but there is always a problem with attacking teams. There is always a part where the teams would tend to want to park the bus against an attacking team. So the second period is always crucial for a very high attacking team. So if you watch the game, the second period was a very lull period.
Actually I watched a bit of the second period.
Yeah. It was like very like
I think I watched about consecutive like 5 minutes or so, and then no goals were being scored.
It's reflective of our the team that I coach, Blitz in Div 3 and Sandless. So our second period is always crucial. It's a seesaw kind of try to figure out what's going on. If you don't figure out what's going on in third period, right, it can turn the other way if you're not careful. So which Titans suddenly, then third period was bye bye already.
Could it be just Protege this that off?
So we were talking about what they did second period. Then they tried to by right. Normally you sit back. So Titans always score in the box for the first period. So normal same. So our design is inside the box. So naturally Denmark will tell them to stay back. Which happened in the second period. And against when Blitz played the same thing, Sanders, we know they will bunch in, but it must be up to the players to decide what to do. Third period, everyone shot from outside. Literally the ball move across, shoot, move across, and wonderful goals from outside. Now we were like pointing out, see, this is players' decision in the game. Maybe Jonathan had something to say about it, but it seems like he was very calm and like he's always calm. He's always calm. He doesn't watch his podcast, so we can talk a lot about him.
He doesn't watch?
I don't think so.
Then should invite. It's time to.
We should invite.
Someone clip him.
I mean, it's a by the way thing, right? Because Prabhu said he won't be. Sorry, Prabhu. But Prabhu just told us that he might not be as available. Right. So it's time for new blood.
Invite Jonathan. Jonathan can talk. Can be very expressive, or what kind of character will he bring in?
I don't know. I often just text him over. I mean,
invite him. I think he'll say very busy.
Then can invite his wife.
Definitely also can. Yeah. Right. Interesting. But yeah, they dominated. Then after that, the 3-3 hours and Lito game. This one was a very, from the get-go, we know it would be a very close game.
Ought to be a closer game lah, for sure.
So it's like, basically it's like, how do I put it? Who's the first to make one mistake, basically, that game itself, So it turned out that way. I think Lito was leading eventually. They were trailing, then they lead.
And then also last goal was a mistake.
The
Mistake by Lito.
Yeah.
Lito. Yeah.
The clearance.
So it's like that kind of thing. So basically the statement is, the draw is well deserved for everyone.
Draw well deserved.
Well deserved, because it's like cancelling. It's not cancelling each other out. It's like, who's gonna make the mistake? You know, that kind of thing. Like, we see this at high level sports also. Like at times it's just that, okay, let's not make this much mistake. Then it happened. This game is just nice to show you that, okay, who's making the most mistakes. Then on Sunday, the following day, which is Wonder Sticks, ladies played in the morning against Skyhawks, without the sisters. Right, this is without the sisters.
Why are they not around?
No idea.
No. I know Jay is overseas. So, yeah. So
Maybe that's
Anyone from Wonder Sticks, please help to comment below.
Comment there.
Hey, again, the more you comment, actually it helps the algorithm, apparently.
Yeah.
So you but this don't score us, Ken. That's all.
Wonder Sticks, at the start it was slow, right? It was a slow start to the game, is it?
Yeah.
Right?
It was very obvious that they're lacking that sharpness to play.
My concern with Wonder Sticks is the continuity. Like, like how Titans recruited. Just nice to know that you later we'll talk about it. The Sunday's lineup is like a change of lineup, right? And they were still like Titans. They were like, oh, this is Titans. Just new. It's new blood, but it's still Titans. That kind of thing. But Wonder Sticks, when, like you say, the sisters are not there. Even Haja is not in the lineup, right? Yeah, you can sense that. Okay, a bit.
The character, you lost a big chunk of the identity.
It's. We will see. Eventually, we'll see how it goes when they face maybe the likes of Creeps and Titans. Eventually, they will have to face one, right? So
this sounds like what we mentioned at the start of the podcast, where certain teams like pack the very good ones in line one, and then subsequently the rest. So then if the good quality ones does go missing, and then you can see a huge dip.
It's quite scary. And oh my goodness, Skyhawks. Wow, this how many losses already?
How many goals conceded already?
Wow, wait. Actually, can.
No, but the other thing is with Wonder Sticks, right? They have been playing quite a few players off position too. So I also don't know what's the plan.
Who again? Wonder Sticks.
Yeah, they play Enjia and Ayu at the back.
Enjia at the back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because WFC we saw Ayu. I mean, Iru's style is Ayu will be a forward or a center. Naturally center.
Center.
Playmaker and long shot. And if Ayu is watching this, do you remember the long serve shot we talked about? You need to try before your IVP or Polite, I forget. Then one of the goals I saw she did
the swerve, right?
Wow, she's very fast learner. Very fast learner.
Yeah, it's a bit weird too lah, but that's my observation.
I didn't observe her for that game. Ayu,
exactly, she disappeared.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So maybe in a not ideal position for her to shine.
Yeah.
Also, that's Wonder Sticks. Wonder Sticks is the chaos tree in front. They always the tree on top is always strong, very attacking minded, super attacking minded, and the defenders at the back is
sounds very Sarah style, but
it's Sarah style. And the defenders are there to make sure that they can hold and distribute.
Just steady, stable, and then
And you compare them to maybe Creeps and Titans is very different. The Creeps are playmaker defenders. Like they try to dribble up and pass, and Titans is like it's a full rotate until you don't know who's the last man and who's the center. Yeah, so that's the big I would say. Is it difference or you can put it a bit different. So that's why it feels a bit off lah. A bit off. Then the following game is Abbas against TFC. So ping pong game, right? It's a ping pong game. A draw, and it is. I don't know if they will be happy. Both of them will be happy with this shed points.
I think Tampines would be much more happier, I guess, because given the
younger
the younger girls as well, and they just came up.
Albatross used to be a powerhouse after the incident, right?
Yeah, the keyword is used to, right? So I mean, if we could talk about again the succession, the recruitment, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so it was lacking. I mean, it's pretty clear.
And it's
on the
quite
Albatross
scary.
side.
It's like they were back then, like, you know, top few teams in this country, you know. And
Well, everyone does grow old.
succession plan, yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, my very brief involvement in the league side, yeah, some teams they don't really look into it that long termish. Right? It depends on how short term you want to see it, how long term you want to see it, and then find a nice balance in between there and then, whether you wanna develop new players, but then yet you sort of still have to sacrifice a bit, kind of in the results segment, in order to say progress further down the road. Yeah. So yeah, but that's just a general observation from my own experience.
Yeah. So, but that was one point lah, because I noted that at one point can't remember, was it the fourth or the third goal, then the coach was like, they observed Japanese were changing lines, and then they were just just signal to the
Josh,
team,
Albatross, the counter attack.
yeah, just go and attack the line change, and this immediately comes back to like the
WFC.
Yeah, the WFCQ, where we keep making same mistakes at the line change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the coaches in the floorball scene, those of you know I'm not a floorball. I wasn't brought up in the floorball scene at all. So my head coach, which is Fatih, like I asked him when I started out, before I took a full BDF team, I asked him, line change, why are we not attacking people when they are line changing? Then he was like, I don't know. Then so I can attack lah. Yeah, okay. Then I exploited that. 2022 onwards, I exploited that line change. Just wait. One last defender just dribble up all the way. Yeah. So it's very interesting. I don't know. I initially at the back of my head I thought it was like an etiquette. Oh no, line change. Let's not disturb people line change or something.
Oh really?
Yeah. When I started out, I was like 2016 or 2015. I was like, why? When I watched the league at Hougang, I mean back then there was a lot of leagues, right? And I was like, why no one attacking
when one side line change, then the other side is kind of less line
so
change.
like the ball came over to this side, they line change, right? This team will like just wait for them to finish. I'm like, why are we doing that? Like, is it an etiquette thing? Yeah. Then after that I asked Fatih, no, can go attack. Yeah.
I'm not so sure whether it is the case. I mean, that's back then, right? You're talking about 2015 or so, right?
Yeah, 2015.
Yeah, I mean, if locals do not say understand the how Europeans play, and then when they watch say a full match highlights, when they see one side change, the other side change, so then they might have this pre-assumption that you change, I change. It's a good time to change, but the very fact that when you change, the game is still live after all.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's how you, like you said, you kind of just expand your idea around it and then be able to explore into say attacking teams when.
Oh my God, it's like very funny. It's just very funny.
But I guess back to Leandro's point, right, where if say a team does line change inappropriately, right, and then say the opposition does
possession of the
take,
ball.
take advantage, right, and from there actually led to a goal.
Yeah.
On one hand, it's good awareness from the attacking side, but of course it's poor, I would say, game management from the defending side as well. Yeah. So this kind of line change thing, I mean, I don't do it on my secondary school side. They still kind of needs me to handle the line change. But when I talk about say the poly side, tertiary side, what I do tell them is you need to be able to be aware when do you press. Do you actually have the energy to press as well? Like if someone's line change, if you don't have energy to press, then maybe the appropriate manner is actually you go and line change yourself. But if it's then appropriate to press or take advantage of the situation, right, then please go ahead. If not, you kind of just look down on you. Do not take advantage.
It happened to us that once, because we're not used to, we're used to pressing in training, like for the league teams, so we are aware of it. But just a lapse, you were already dominating the game, then we decided to do a line change, got the ball, bring back slowly, then make the line change, they press us out of nowhere, led to a goal. It happens. They see the ball. So, but we had countermeasures to do it. So after that, after the face-off, few exchanges, then they tried to press us again with the line change. And we just spun 1% up there. Then a long ball counter attack. They're like, what's going on? Like you said, they're like, they need to know when. So if not, it can backfire on you.
I mean, when I do watch nowadays, I'm not talking about 2015, 2016, but nowadays when I do watch like highlights videos from the Finnish league or Swedish league, they do, because of line change, and then they press well enough, and they do score goals as well. Yeah.
Yep. So that's the interesting thing from Albatross and Tampines. 4-4 draw. share the spoils, I guess. Then the league for the weekend ended off with Jupitans and Crips. Crips dominating the game itself. This was quite straightforward for Crips, but moment to moment there were scary moments for Crips where Jupitans were quite. I would say they're not on target, but they were scary. If I'm one of the Crips defenders, I would be scary. And then and Mandina is there also as a defender also. A small girl. I don't know why she's there, but yeah. So the results shows itself. I mean the quality of the top three itself.
Yeah.
Then
So there's still a gap.
something that I like about the Crips and Titans, for example, right? Like Sean is still in Crips, and she's still performing. She's still a playmaker, doing amazing things. Even though like she's helping the team as usual, instead of the one scoring the goals and whatnot. And you look at Amanda is still running all over the place, still covering each other, and the different lines. There's a dominant line, but putting the line 2 and line 3, it doesn't. These teams, you don't feel like there's a change. You feel like there's a different line on it. It's not like very drastic change. Yeah, which I think more teams should be like that. But again, the quality of players is needed as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I guess that's the end of the week for this game. This weekend will be the men's back in action, and we will talk more about it later on.